Hi, beautiful souls. This is Srimanju Katagata. Welcome to Life is Magical podcast. So, I guess this is going to be the last one for this year. And I was thinking what the topic would be and what else can it be. Let's talk about the New Year resolution. I have been scrolling on the Facebook, Instagram, everywhere I'm seeing about the resolutions and everything. It's quite overwhelming, when you're stepping into the new calendar year. And there is a lot of weight that we get into the carrying on the burden of, oh, this year is going to be great, fantastic. Let's make all those resolutions. But I have a very different idea to that, and I would like to share and take in what resonates with you. But the most important thing is if it works for you, it's good. Keep continuing, ignore what I'm saying here. But if it is going to be a heavy thing and you are looking for an alternate option rather than the new year resolution, I'm in for all that. So here, grab your cup of cacao or the tea and let's get into this. I'm here joining with my beautiful herbal tea. So New Year resolutions, which is a common tradition in which people commit to making positive changes in their lives. These resolutions actually can be related to personal growth, health, relationships, career, or many other aspects of the lives. And some of the common things that we usually do is going to the gym, eating healthier, saving more money, or learning a new skill, or trying to travel more or be more committed to our relationships. So these kind of things we are trying to wait onto the Jan 1st to begin rather than starting now, right? I have been there. I have made many resolutions in my late teens and early 20s as well. It was such a heavy energy I was carrying in. On Jan 1st, I would list my resolutions. I would say, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to be more. At the time, I was having insomnia, so I would have resolution of, I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and within 2-3 days or within the max a week, I would be failing so badly that I would be even worse than where I would have began, because my motivation would have drained and I would have had a self-esteem issues, and blaming myself, and I would even be calling myself unworthy because I wasn't able to commit to them. But then I later understood, am I really wanting them? Am I ready for it? Is this even what I want? So that whole aspect took the burden away from me. And thankfully, Reiki came into my life, and mindfulness, meditation, all that has created a beautiful space for it. But now I'm more successful at not making any resolutions and only working on my goals and dreams no matter when I begin. So I could be beginning, generally, my goals generally begin around Feb or March for the year, and I'm very committed to it. I love to make goals for the new moons and the full moons, and short-term goals are my favorites, running from a month to 6 months time, and having a couple of long terms as well. But my short terms are anchoring towards my long-term goals. There is a lot of strain and impact on these whole resolutions that we do take onto, knowingly, unknowingly as well. So some things will be we feel the pressure to make significant changes in our lives at the start of the year, and that can lead to stress, anxiety, and we might feel overwhelmed by the task of making and achieving these goals. And also the disappointment and self-judgment that we come into not meeting our goals, and also negative effect on the mental health, because we are really going backwards when we don't do them, and so that's the reason, first and foremost, I quit everything that wasn't working for me. I had a strict boundaries of what I really wanted to commit to it. And so it is important to approach the process of setting resolutions with self-compassion and a focus of self-care, to remember that the progress and the growth can happen at any time, not just the beginning of the year. Absolutely. Start today. Don't wait for the first. It's 30th December as I'm recording it. Begin it right now. Yeah. And it is important to keep in mind that making New Year resolutions can be a positive and rewarding experience, but also can be stressful and challenging. And it is natural to feel excited and motivated at the beginning of a new year because everyone talks about it. It's easier to commit to it, is what we feel like, and we can push ourselves as well. But it is also equally important to manage your expectations and be realistic of what you want to accomplish. That's the most important. That is one thing that I have been lacking in my earlier years, or my young self of the years, where they weren't realistic, and I really wanted, because there was so much of pressure by the society or my loved ones or people around, what they're expecting. And I would say, like, oh, on first I'll start, just like on Monday we start the gym, right? And one potential strain of making New Year resolution is the pressure to make big, sweeping changes all at once. And this can be very much overwhelming and may lead to feelings of failure if you don't see immediate progress. And it is important to be patient and remember that positive changes take time and effort. And another potential impact of is risk of becoming too focused on achieving your goal and neglecting other areas of our lives. So some people are very much past their new year 1 week into it, and they still are committing. Sometimes they might even forget, getting a healthy balance, making time for self-care, relaxation, or other activities that might bring them the joy, and will be very committed to the goal itself. It's just anchoring, realigning ourselves into what is it, where do we see ourselves. Yeah. And you're not alone when you fail at your resolutions. I have few clients who made a resolutions this year wanting to do a self-care monthly, commit to Reiki sessions, and they have been coming all the 12 months, and those kind of a goals I love, those kind of a resolutions I love, when it involves self-care, when it is doable, we do commit to it, and we want to anchor and say what's the cause, what is the next part that's going to be evolved out of it. So that is the most important thing, checking in, what is real, what do you want, where are you fitting in with yourself. And if you're finding that your resolutions are causing undue stress or negativity impacting your well-being, it may be helpful to reassess your goals and make adjustments as needed, because it is you who is committed to it, no one else, right? No one else is speaking about it, only you are talking about it, only you are addressing this, only you are going through this. So prioritizing your own well-being is the most important things. So with that, I was checking in what is the percentage of people that fail at New Year resolutions, remember? With that, the study has found that 8% of people achieve their New Year resolutions. And there was another study that found out that 80% of the people fail to stick to their resolutions. So if we commit to it, we do achieve, but sticking to them is the worst thing, that we can't do it. So these numbers suggest that while some people may be successful in achieving their goals, many people struggle to follow through their own resolutions. So one thing that I always say, even in the vision board, is I generally do once a year vision board workshop. And in that, I always say, stick to your goals. And when you see them, when it is visible through your eye lens, it's much easier to achieve them as well. It could be resolutions, it could be goals, but they have to be very much visible. They have to be probing you, these words, or what your intention is about, and then you are successful. So let's explore some habits that we can start to make this year successful. There are a number of factors that may contribute to the difficulty of achieving New Year's resolution, and there can be including a lack of clear goals, unrealistic expectations, and a lack of motivation or a support, or a lack of time or resources. So yeah, either it is your goal, but your family members are not able to support because they may not understand the depth and the need of it for you, or not being able to have the enough resources to execute your own goal as well, interdependent on other possibilities in your life. To increase your chances of success, it's important to set specific achievable goals and create a plan for achieving them. And enlist the support of friends, family members, or hiring a coach or a therapist as well. Which helps you to be committed, who help you to track, who help you to push on to your desires. That's the most important thing. Someone to nudge, remind, a commitment, a check-in with yourself, because Just on that, like when I quit my day job and was running my business, I had a hard time committing to it. As a project manager, someone else was pushing me, motivating me in my workplace. But here, when I was taking up my business, I had to set my own list. I had to set my own goals. That was really a hard transition. Not many talk about it. Maybe I should do a podcast about it. So, having those clear goals and your own commitment is the most important thing. So on Jan 1st, New Year resolutions begin to form, and then the inevitable happens once those resolutions set in, right? They hit a brick wall, and people give up and start a new I'll do it tomorrow list, which is never ending. The to do list is crazy growing, right? This year, I think we all knew what it is, what a big hurdle we have been coming through. So, the beginning of a new year is a great time to reflect on your life. And if you have set a goal, how has it been going? How have you been able to achieve the things you set out to do? So, those will be the great ones to check in with yourself. I also have another podcast on making smart goals as well, so that will be worth listening to. But also, I'll link up in the show notes below. So, one of the things is to how to set goals. This is really important. Again, I so much re-emphasize, about it in all the workshops that I conduct, also in the vision board as well, or manifesting workshops as well. So, setting goals can be a very useful way to focus your efforts and make progress towards the things you want to achieve. Here are a few things for setting effective goals. Be very specific. Clearly define what you want to accomplish and be specific about the steps you take to get there. And make it measurable, the most important thing, right? Choose a goal that you can track and measure so you can see your progress along the way. It's like having a graph or checking in, what is it? Set a deadline, give yourself a timeline so you can help you focused and motivated. And have a reward as well, as you are getting into it. What is your reward? Maybe you get an extra mile to go out or to enjoy with your friends, or extra new dress that you can get in, treat yourself. It could be anything, but having a little reward will help you to be more focused as well. Make it achievable. Choose a goal that is realistic and achievable given your correct resources and circumstances. So, what's right for you? You only know it. Don't look into others' models and try to copy it for you, because that may not work for you. Someone has a very much goal that they want to, say, for example, earn a 6-digit figure, but right now they're only setting up their business. May not be possible, but for a person who is running a business for 5 years or 2 years may be possible. So comparing like to like is ideal. Again, saying that it's not that it's not possible, but about, again, realistic. Make it relevant. Choose a goal that is meaningful and aligned with your values and priorities. That's the most important thing. What is it and what you are going to do with it? Write it down. Any goal, that's again biggest stat. Any goal that is written down will help you to stay committed and on track, and that has always been proven as well in the researchers. So anything that you write it down is always going to work, and that's where the vision boards come in handy, manifestations come in handy, your journals come in handy as well. Break it down. Divide your goal into smaller actionable steps to make it easier to achieve, like a micro set of things. So if your goal is for a week not to have any chocolate, so your micro goals is how are you balancing your sugar cravings? What are the other healthy things that you're grabbing on as well? When you release something, grab on to good habits as well. That will be a great one. Seek support. Enlist the help of your friends, family, professional coach, again, therapist, to keep you motivated and accountable as well. That's a major thing. Someone you can trust, someone they are not going to mock you up, that are going to hold the space for you. And it is important to be patient and kind to yourself as you work towards your goals. Positive change takes time and effort. It's okay to make mistakes or face setbacks along the way, but again, be gracious with yourself. A week you haven't done, come back again, motivate yourself for taking break for a week and coming back full on. That's the most important thing, rather than giving them up. Now, that's a resolution worth making, right? So, also, I have some journal prompts as well in my blog. I have shared journal prompt goal settings are great things. So these prompts are going to help you to really clearly define what is that most important for you, what is that valuable for you, what is that goal that is going to help you for your growth this year, how are you comparing your year this year to the next year, and what is that you want to let go, release, or bring in a new changes. So have a look at the journals, and those prompts. Are there any questions that are resonating with you? Take it on and write down what you feel in this moment, and that will help you to explore your thoughts and feelings. And when you write it down, it's about the heart that is coming out. It's not the grammar or the structure that you need to be concerned about here. And also important to be gentle and compassionate with yourself as you journal, to remember taking breaks and skip some of the things that are not resonating with you. Come back to it later. So, to make a successful New Year's resolution, it is important to be specific and realistic. Choose that is achievable and aligns with your values and priorities. Also helpful to break your goal down into smaller, actionable steps and track your progress very well. And these are, of course, very much about where you are right now and how you want to see yourself in the future. So, always focus on that aspect of yourself. And remember to be graceful to yourself for your mistakes or the setbacks that you're going to give. And that's the most important thing. And finally, have a beautiful and bright and a very good year. Remember, what is that ultimate word that you would like to give for the new year? How do you want to see it flowing? Keep thinking about it, visualize it, meditate on it, and let that dream flow in. That's the most important thing. And as you do that, that is where your prosperity comes in. That is where your happiness comes in. That is where your adventure comes into your life. Yeah. So get ready to manifest your dreams and make them a reality. And if you're interested, I'm holding a workshop which is on Jan 21st, Saturday from 10 to 12 Pacific time. And it's an online workshop to do your vision board, to gain insight, and also do a visual representation on your goals. And if you need some motivation, if you need some inspiration, so that is the next step to do. And it's only for 2 hours. It's also recorded and it's online in case you can't make it up. So there you go. So connect to me there, and I look forward to seeing you there. With that, wish you a very, very happy new year, and thank you all firstly to be listening to my podcast for 2 years and doing connecting to me online, offline, through emails. I'm so grateful for that. And if you enjoyed this, please do share, like, comment, and see you in the new year. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Namaste.